You have a money story, a narrative about wealth, success, and what's possible for you financially. And this story is not neutral. It's not just a collection of beliefs. It's an active program running in your subconscious mind, making decisions, filtering perceptions, and creating your financial reality. Whether you're aware of it or not, your money story is the invisible architect of your bank account. And here's the challenging part. You didn't write most of this story. It was written for you. By your parents, by your culture, by your early experiences with money. By the time you were 7 years old, your financial blueprint was essentially complete. And unless you've done deep inner work, you're still living according to that 7-year-old's understanding of money. Welcome. Today we're going to identify your money story, understand where it came from, recognize how it's limiting you, and most importantly, learn how to rewrite it. Because your money story is not fixed. It's not your destiny. It's just programming. And programming can be changed. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear map of your financial blueprint and practical tools to reprogram it for abundance. This is deep work, transformational work, the kind of work that creates lasting change. So let's begin. First, what is a money story? It's the narrative you tell yourself about money and your relationship to it. It's the collection of beliefs, associations, and emotional patterns that shape how you think, feel, and behave around wealth. Your money story answers questions like, is money easy or hard to get? Am I the kind of person who has money or doesn't? Is wealth safe or dangerous? Do I deserve abundance or should I be content with less? Is money spiritual or corrupt? These aren't just intellectual questions. They're emotional imprints that drive your behavior unconsciously. And here's what makes money stories so powerful. They're self-fulfilling. If your money story says money is hard to get, you'll unconsciously behave in ways that make money hard to get. You'll avoid opportunities. You'll undercharge for your services. You'll sabotage success when it arrives. Not because you want to struggle, but because your subconscious is trying to keep reality consistent with the story. Cognitive dissonance is uncomfortable. So your subconscious will do whatever it takes to make your external reality match your internal narrative, even if that narrative is keeping you broke. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. Sarah grew up watching her mother work 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. She watched her father gamble away savings. She heard constant fighting about bills. The emotional atmosphere around money was stress, fear, and scarcity. So Sarah's subconscious absorbed a story. Money equals stress. Having money means you'll lose it. Financial security doesn't exist. Working hard doesn't guarantee results. Now Sarah is an adult with a good education and marketable skills. But unconsciously, she sabotages every opportunity to earn more. She turns down promotions. She undercharges clients. When she does make good money, she spends it immediately on emergencies that mysteriously appear. Why? Because her subconscious is maintaining consistency with the story written when she was 5 years old. Or consider James. James grew up wealthy, but his parents constantly worried about losing it all. They hoarded money. They didn't enjoy it. They taught James that wealth makes you a target, that people will use you for money, that you can't trust anyone, that showing wealth is dangerous. So even though James inherited money, he lives like he's broke. He drives an old car. He lives in a tiny apartment. He never takes vacations. He's terrified to spend. Not because he doesn't have money, but because his money story says having money and showing it makes you vulnerable. So his subconscious keeps him living small to stay safe. These are money stories, and everyone has one. The question is not whether you have a money story. The question is, what is your money story, and how is it shaping your reality? Most people never examine this. They think their financial situation is just reality. Just the way things are. Bad luck. Wrong circumstances. Not enough education. Wrong economy. But quantum physics and neuroscience tell a different story. Your beliefs create your perceptual filters. Your perceptual filters determine what you notice and what you miss. What you notice determines what actions you take. What actions you take determines your results. So if you want different results, you have to change the story, creating the filters, creating the perceptions, creating the actions. And here's the hopeful part. Your money story was learned, which means it can be unlearned. You weren't born believing money is hard to get, or that you don't deserve wealth. A baby doesn't have limiting beliefs about abundance. Those beliefs were installed through repeated experiences and the meaning you made of those experiences. And what was installed can be uninstalled. What was programmed can be reprogrammed. Your financial blueprint is not your destiny. It's just your current operating system. And operating systems can be updated. Let's uncover your money story. I'm going to walk you through a series of reflection prompts. As I ask each question, I want you to notice your first instinctive response. Not what you think you should believe, but what you actually believe deep down. Your gut reaction is usually closer to your subconscious programming than your conscious ideals. So be honest with yourself. This is just for you. No one's judging. Ready? Let's begin. Prompt 1. When I think about having a lot of money, I feel... What's your immediate feeling? Excitement? Fear? Guilt? Relief? Anxiety? Whatever you feel is information about your money story. If you feel fear, your story might include beliefs like money brings problems, or you'll lose it, or people will take advantage of you. If you feel guilt, your story might include beliefs like wanting money is selfish, or rich people are bad, or I don't deserve more than others. If you feel excitement mixed with disbelief, your story might include beliefs like wealth is for other people, or I'm not the type who gets rich, or it's just too good to be true. Prompt 2. Complete this sentence. People with a lot of money are... What words come to mind? Generous, greedy, happy, corrupt, free, stressed, lucky, smart. Your associations with wealthy people reveal your subconscious beliefs about wealth itself. If you associate money with negative traits, your subconscious will try to keep you away from money to keep you good. If you associate money with positive traits, but also with luck rather than skill, your subconscious believes wealth is something out of your control. Prompt 3. My parents' relationship with money was... Think about how your parents talked about money. Did they fight about it? Avoid talking about it? Worry constantly? Feel abundant and grateful? Hoard it? Spend recklessly? Your parents' money behavior became your first template. Even if you consciously rejected their approach, the emotional patterns often persist. If money was a source of stress in your home, you likely associate money with stress. If money was never discussed, you likely feel awkward or ashamed talking about it now. Prompt 4. I learned that to make money you have to. What's your first thought? Work hard, sacrifice, be lucky, have connections, be smart, suffer, compromise your values, be born into it. This reveals your belief about what money costs. If you believe you have to sacrifice your health, time, or integrity for money, you'll unconsciously resist earning it. If you believe money requires suffering, you'll create struggle. If you believe money comes easily and joyfully, you'll allow that ease into your life. Prompt 5. If I suddenly received a large amount of money, I would... What's your immediate thought? Invest it, spend it, hide it, give it away, worry about losing it, feel guilty, feel relieved? This reveals your relationship with receiving. Many people unconsciously believe they don't deserve windfalls, so they sabotage them. They might spend it impulsively, lose it in bad investments, or loan it to people who won't pay them back. Your subconscious uses these behaviors to return you to the financial level that matches your identity. Prompt 6. The amount of money that would make me feel truly secure is... What number came to mind? And when you think of that number, does it feel possible? Or does it feel like a fantasy? The amount you named reveals your current financial ceiling. And whether it feels possible reveals whether your subconscious believes you can actually reach it. Most people name an amount their subconscious doesn't believe they can have, so they never reach it. Or if they do reach it temporarily, they sabotage their way back down to their comfort zone. And finally, prompt 7. Money makes me feel. What emotions arise? Powerful, anxious, free, trapped, safe, vulnerable, excited, guilty. Your emotional response to money is the key to your entire money story. Because money is just a tool, it's energetically neutral. But we project meaning onto it, and that meaning creates a feeling, and that feeling determines your behavior. If money makes you feel anxious, you'll avoid dealing with it. If money makes you feel powerful, you'll seek it. If money makes you feel guilty, you'll push it away. Now, here's what's important to understand. None of these responses are wrong. They're just information. They're revealing the program that's currently running in your mind. And the beautiful thing about awareness is that it's the first step to change. You cannot change what you're not aware of. But once you see the program, you can question it. You can ask, is this actually true? Or is this just a story I learned? And if it's just a story, do you want to keep living by it? Or do you want to write a new one? Most of your money story was formed between the ages of 0 and 7. During that period, your brain was in a theta state most of the time. Theta is a highly suggestible brainwave state. You absorbed everything around you without filters or critical thinking. You watched your parents. You internalized their stress or their ease. You heard their comments about money. You experienced the emotional atmosphere of your household. And all of it got encoded as truth, not as opinion, but as fundamental reality. This is just how money works. This is just how the world is. And that program has been running automatically ever since. You didn't question it, you didn't examine it, you just lived according to it, making choices that reinforce the story, interpreting experiences through the lens of the story, and creating results that confirm the story, until now. Right now, you're interrupting that automatic process. You're bringing consciousness to what was unconscious. And that changes everything, because consciousness is choice, and choice is power. Thanks so much for watching and doing this deep work with me. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more content on transforming your relationship with money. So now that you've identified some elements of your own money story, let's talk about the most common limiting money narratives that show up for people. As I go through these, see if you recognize yourself in any of them. And if you do, please know that you are not alone. These patterns are extremely common because they are often reinforced by our culture. But just because something is common, that doesn't mean it's unchangeable. You have the power to rewrite your story. Okay, let's dive into money story number 1. Money is scarce and hard to get. This is probably the most widespread limiting belief about money. It often shows up as a constant worry about not having enough or difficulty charging what you're truly worth. You might feel like you have to work incredibly hard for every single dollar, and you feel anxious about spending money, even on necessities. This story usually starts when you grow up with financial stress. Maybe your parents struggle to make ends meet. Maybe you experienced poverty yourself. Or maybe you just watched the adults around you, constantly worried about bills. Your subconscious mind observed all of this and concluded, money is scarce. Getting it is a huge struggle, and I'll probably never have enough. So, as an adult, you live in a state of scarcity consciousness. This mindset acts like a filter, causing you to overlook opportunities and, ironically, creating the very scarcity you're afraid of. Now for money story number 2. Money is the root of all evil. This is often a spiritual or moral story. It can manifest as feeling guilty about wanting more money, feeling uncomfortable around wealthy people, or associating poverty with being virtuous. You might believe that caring about money makes you materialistic or shallow. This story often forms in religious or idealistic households where money was seen as a corrupting force. You might have heard phrases like, money can't buy happiness, or rich people are greedy. Your subconscious took these messages to heart and concluded, money is spiritually dangerous, and I need to reject it to be a good person. As a result, you might unconsciously sabotage your own efforts to build wealth in order to maintain your identity as a moral and spiritual person. Next up, money story number 3, I don't deserve wealth. This one comes from a deep wound related to worthiness. It shows up as settling for less than you truly want, or feeling like other people deserve success, but you just don't. You might experience imposter syndrome when it comes to money, or you might give away your skills and time for free or for very cheap. You might even find yourself apologizing for charging for your services. This story usually forms from childhood experiences of not feeling good enough. Maybe your accomplishments weren't celebrated, or you were constantly compared unfavorably to your siblings. Perhaps you absorbed a sense of shame from parents or teachers. Your subconscious then concluded, "I'm not valuable enough to deserve abundance." So, you unconsciously create financial lack in your life to match your internal sense of unworthiness. Let's look at money story number 4. Money changes people for the worse. This is a corruption narrative, and it shows up as a fear of success. You might worry that if you become wealthy, you'll lose yourself or become someone you don't like. You might be concerned that money will damage your relationships with friends and family. This leads to a resistance to growing your income. This story often forms when you witness someone you cared about change in a negative way after they got money. Maybe a family member became wealthy and then arrogant. Maybe you saw someone prioritize money over their relationships, and it tore their family apart. Your subconscious looked at that and concluded, "Money is dangerous to who I am and what I value." So, you keep yourself financially limited as a way to protect your identity and your relationships. Money story number 5 is, "I have to sacrifice to earn money." This is a suffering narrative. It shows up as overworking, burning out, and believing that if something comes easily, you must be doing it wrong. You might feel guilty when you're not struggling, and you might even take a strange pride in how hard you have to work. This story usually forms when you watch the adults in your childhood sacrifice their health, their time, and their joy for the sake of money. Maybe your parents were exhausted all the time. Maybe you were taught that rest is lazy. You absorbed the belief that money must be earned through pain and struggle. Your subconscious concluded the path to money is through suffering. So you unconsciously create struggle and exhaustion in your own life, even when much easier paths are available to you. Moving on to money story number 6. Money isn't spiritual. This is what I call a dualism story. It shows up as separating your spiritual life from your financial life. You might believe you have to choose between having money and having meaning. You might think that conscious, evolved people shouldn't care about wealth or feel that abundance is shallow. This story typically forms in environments that pitted the material world against the spiritual world. Maybe you were taught that true spirituality requires a vow of poverty, or that enlightened people transcend all material concerns. Your subconscious concluded, "I can be spiritual or I can be wealthy, but I can't be both." So, you unconsciously block abundance from your life in order to maintain your spiritual identity. And finally, money story number 7. Money will solve all my problems. Now this is the opposite extreme, but it's equally limiting. It shows up as constantly chasing the next financial milestone, believing that you'll finally be happy when you hit a certain number in your bank account. You might use money as a substitute for doing real inner work, and you never feel satisfied, no matter how much you have. This story usually forms when money was used as a solution for emotional needs in your childhood. Maybe love was shown through expensive gifts, or problems were just solved by throwing money at them. Your subconscious concluded money equals happiness and security, so you chase it endlessly, but you never find the fulfillment you're actually seeking, because the real need is internal, not financial. So, do you see yourself in any of these stories? Most people have elements of several of these running simultaneously in their minds. And here's the most important thing to understand. These stories are not the truth. They are not reality. They are interpretations. They are the meanings you assign to experiences from your past. And different meanings were always possible. Think about it. 2 children can grow up in the same household with the exact same financial circumstances and develop completely different money stories. Why? Because it's not the circumstances that create the story. It's the meaning you made of the circumstances. And the beautiful thing is, meaning can be changed. Here's a little bit of the neuroscience behind this. Your brain has something called neural pathways. These are patterns of neurons that fire together. These pathways get stronger and stronger through repetition. Every time you think a thought, feel an emotion, or take an action, you strengthen the neural pathway associated with it. Your money story is just a collection of these deeply grooved neural pathways. You've thought these thoughts thousands of times, felt these feelings thousands of times, and taken these actions thousands of times. So the pathways have become strong, automatic. They fire without you even having to make a conscious choice. But here's the beautiful part. A concept called neuroplasticity means that your brain can change. New pathways can be created, and old pathways can be weakened through disuse. You are not stuck with the mental wiring you currently have. You can literally rewire your brain. And the way you do that is through conscious, repetitive new patterns of thought, feeling, and action. That is exactly what we are going to start doing in the next video. We're going to learn how to build new, empowering neural pathways for abundance. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. So how do you rewrite your money story? How do you reprogram the financial blueprint that's been running your life? It's a process, not a one-time event, but the process is straightforward, and it works. Here are the steps. Step 1. Write down your current money story. Take everything you've discovered about your beliefs, associations, and emotional patterns around money, and write it out as a narrative. My money story is... And then complete that sentence with full honesty. No editing. No making it sound better than it is. Just raw truth. For example, my money story is that money is hard to earn and easy to lose. I learned this from watching my parents struggle. I believe I have to work extremely hard for every dollar. I feel anxious about money, even when I have enough. I'm afraid to spend because I might need it later. I don't believe I'll ever feel financially secure. Write it all out. This is not to reinforce the story. This is to externalize it, to see it clearly outside of your head. What's unconscious has power over you. What's conscious can be evaluated and changed. Step 2. Question every element of your story. Go through what you wrote and ask, is this actually true? Or is this just a belief I learned? How do I know this is true? Is it true 100% of the time? Are there examples that contradict this belief? What if the opposite were true? This is Byron Katie's work applied to money. You're not trying to convince yourself your limiting beliefs are false. You're genuinely inquiring into their validity. And what you'll often discover is that your money story is full of generalizations, assumptions, and inherited beliefs that don't hold up under scrutiny. When you question them, they start to lose their grip. Step 3. Identify the cost of your current story. Your money story is not free. It costs you. In money, yes, but also in freedom, possibility, joy, and self-expression. So make a list. What has my current money story cost me? Be specific. Maybe it cost you the business you never started, the trip you never took, the relationship that suffered because of financial stress, the opportunities you turned down because you didn't believe you deserved them, the years of your life spent in a job you hated because you didn't believe you could earn money doing what you love. Write it all down. This is not to create guilt. This is to create motivation. When you see clearly what your story is costing you, you become willing to do the work to change it. Step 4. Write your new money story. This is where you become the conscious author of your financial narrative. You get to decide what you want to believe, not what you do believe, what you want to believe. Your new story should be empowering, abundant, and aligned with who you want to become. For example, my new money story is that money flows to me easily and joyfully. I create tremendous value and receive abundant compensation. Money is a tool that allows me to live fully and serve generously. I trust myself with wealth. I make wise decisions. I invest in my growth and my dreams. I give freely and receive gratefully. I am worthy of financial abundance simply because I exist. Money loves me and I love money. We have a healthy, joyful relationship. Write your new story in present tense, as if it's already true. Because at the quantum level, it already is true. You're just collapsing it into physical form. Step 5. Find evidence for your new story. Your subconscious needs proof. If you just affirm a new story without evidence, your subconscious dismisses it as fantasy. So you need to find real examples that support your new narrative. Start small. Money did flow easily today when someone bought you coffee. You did receive appreciation for your value when a client thanked you. You did make a wise money decision when you chose to save instead of impulse buy. You are trustworthy with money because you paid your bills on time. Every small piece of evidence strengthens the new neural pathway. Your brain starts to notice more evidence, and what you notice, you reinforce. This creates a positive feedback loop. Step 6. Embody your new story through action. This is critical. You can't just think your way into a new money story. You have to act from it. So ask yourself, how would I behave if my new money story were true? If you believed money flows easily, would you stress about every purchase? Or would you make decisions from trust? If you believed you're worthy of wealth, would you undercharge? Or would you set prices that reflect your value? If you believed money loves you, would you avoid looking at your finances? Or would you manage them with care and attention? Start taking actions aligned with your new story even before you fully believe it. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates belief. Belief creates more aligned action. It's a upward spiral. Step 7. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Neural reprogramming requires repetition. You didn't develop your current money story overnight. You won't replace it overnight, but you will replace it with consistent practice. Read your new money story every morning. Visualize yourself living from it. Notice evidence throughout your day. Take aligned actions. Correct yourself when you slip back into old patterns. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate progress. Every time you choose the new story over the old, you're rewiring. Every time you act from your new identity, you're creating proof. Over time, the new pathways become stronger than the old ones. And one day you'll realize you're not trying to believe your new story anymore. You just do, because it's become your reality. And here's something powerful to understand. Your new money story doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to address every limiting belief at once. It just has to be better than your current story. Progress, not perfection. Maybe your current story is, I'll never have money. Your new story doesn't have to be, I'm a multi-millionaire. It can be, I'm learning to create more financial flow. That's progress. Your subconscious can accept that. And from there, you can evolve to, money is starting to come more easily. And then I consistently attract abundant opportunities. And then I am financially free. It's a journey. And every step forward is a victory. Let me share something that might surprise you. Your money story is not just about money. It's about your identity, your sense of self, your place in the world. Money is just the medium through which deeper patterns express. So when you change your money story, you're not just improving your finances. You're evolving your entire sense of who you are. Think about it. If your money story is, I don't deserve wealth, that's not really about money. That's about worth, value, belonging. If your money story is, money is hard to get, that's not really about money. That's about trust, safety, your relationship with life itself. If your money story is, money corrupts, that's not really about money. That's about integrity, fear of your own shadow, worry about losing yourself. So when you heal your money story, you're healing much deeper wounds. Wounds around worthiness, wounds around safety, wounds around power, wounds around identity. And this is why money work is spiritual work. Not because money itself is spiritual, but because your relationship with money reveals your relationship with yourself. And healing that relationship is one of the most profound spiritual practices you can engage in. When you rewrite your money story, you're essentially saying, I am no longer defined by my past. I am no longer limited by the programming I inherited. I choose to see myself differently. I choose to see the world differently. I choose to step into a new possibility. That's awakening. That's liberation. That's conscious creation. So let's do a powerful practice right now. I'm going to guide you through a brief money story rewrite. If you're in a place where you can close your eyes, do so. If not, just bring your full attention to these words. Take a deep breath. And imagine yourself standing in front of a large mirror. In this mirror, you see your reflection. But you also see the story you've been living, the beliefs you've carried, the limits you've accepted, all of it visible in the mirror. And now, imagine that you're holding a pen that can write directly on the mirror, and you begin to write your new story. Write it in bright, glowing letters across your reflection. I am abundant. Money flows to me easily. I create immense value. I deserve wealth. I am trustworthy with money. I make wise decisions. I give generously and receive gracefully. I am financially free. Write these new truths across the old image, overlaying the old story with the new. And now, imagine the old story beginning to fade, the limiting beliefs dissolving, the fear releasing, the scarcity consciousness evaporating like morning mist. And all that remains is your new story, bright, clear, true. This is your new financial blueprint, your new identity, your new reality. Take another deep breath and feel this new story settling into your body, into your cells, into your energy field. You are not the person you were 5 minutes ago. You've just reprogrammed your financial blueprint. And from this moment forward, your external reality will begin to shift to match this new internal story. Open your eyes. Welcome to your new financial identity. Now, I want to give you a daily practice to anchor this transformation. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, I want you to speak your new money story out loud. Just the essential pieces. Money flows to me easily. I create value and receive abundance. I trust myself with wealth. I am financially free. Say it with conviction. Feel it in your body. This takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds to remind your subconscious of the new program. And every evening before you go to sleep, write down 3 pieces of evidence that your new story is already true. 3 ways money flowed today. 3 examples of your value being recognized. 3 moments of financial trust or wisdom. This trains your brain to notice confirmation of your new identity, and what you notice, you amplify. And here's your invitation for the next 30 days. Live as if your new money story is already true. Not fake it till you make it in a dishonest way, but genuinely experiment with the question: how would I show up today if I fully believed my new story? Would you negotiate differently? Would you invest in yourself more confidently? Would you set boundaries around your time and energy? Would you charge what you're worth? Would you give more generously because you trust abundance? Would you make decisions from possibility instead of scarcity? Try it, just for 30 days. Act from your new identity, and watch what happens. I promise you, your external reality will shift. Not because you're manifesting through magic, but because you're behaving differently, noticing different things, taking different actions, creating different results. That's how reprogramming works. Let me say this clearly. You are not broken. Your current money story is not a character flaw. It's just programming you received when you were too young to question it. And now you're old enough, aware enough, powerful enough to change it. You're not a victim of your financial blueprint. You're the author, the programmer, the creator. And that means you have complete authority to rewrite the code. Your past does not determine your financial future unless you let it. Your parents' money struggles do not have to be your money struggles. Your previous failures do not predict your future success. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose differently, to write differently, to become differently. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Take out a journal. At the top of the page, write, "My old money story." And write everything you've believed about money that's been limiting you. Get it all out. Don't judge it. Just acknowledge it. Then on a new page, write, "My new money story." And write the story you're choosing now. The beliefs you're installing, the identity you're stepping into. Read your new story every single day. Make it your financial mantra, your economic identity, your prosperity programming, and watch your life transform from the inside out. If this resonated with you, leave a comment sharing one limiting money belief you're releasing and one empowering belief you're installing. Subscribe to this channel for more practical tools for financial and consciousness transformation. And share this video with anyone who's ready to rewrite their money story. Because financial freedom starts with mental freedom. And mental freedom starts with recognizing you're not stuck with the story you've been living. You can write a new one, starting now. Remember, your money story is not your identity. It's just a program. And programs can be rewritten. You are the programmer. You are the author. You are the creator of your financial reality. So, create consciously. Create abundantly. Create freely. Your new money story starts today.